Good morning and welcome to Beacon. Out of the dawn, drawn by a flame ignited by our gathering, warming our presence, we come together across time and space to be with one another at this time of solstice.
Honoring our life-giving sun and life-harboring darkness, in silence and in quiet, our beings come to be born. My name is Dr. Tuli Patel, and joining us this morning, our Reverend Dr. Dr. Robin Tanner. We are using our honorifics this morning, standing in solidarity with others, as well as our Director of Music Ministries, Misa, Iwama. Reverend Dr. Robin Tanner will now lead us in our invocation.
So, beloved, let us worship, to consider the worth of this day, of the sweetness of darkness, the holding of meaning, and turning to discover in the deep midwinter what yet shimmers, what yet emerges. Come, beloved, wanderers, worshipers, lovers of leaving, let us discover now the gifts of this solstice.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come, 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 whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come, yet again come, yet again
Good morning. I'm Rob.
Phoenix,
Griffin,
and Rachel. This morning, we light our home chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, with these words.
We
We
light this chalice
for the light of truth and reality, the warmth of love and compassion, and the fire of commitment and promise. We light this symbol of our faith as we gather together.
Long ago, our land was ruled by two kings who were brothers. The younger brother wore oak leaves as a crown and was known as the Oak King. The older brother wore holly leaves as a crown and was known as the Holly King. The brothers each felt they knew the best way to rule the land, and they quarreled over it all the time. The Oak King wanted the land to be bright and hot and sunny for the entire year. The Holly King wanted the land to be dark and cold and sleeping for the entire year. Both kings loved a beautiful lady, and she loved them both in return. She hated to watch them fight. She told them to share the land between them, one half of the year for the Oak King and one half of the year for the Holly King. But the brothers couldn't be persuaded to stop their fighting. One hot day when the sun was high in the sky and it seemed that night would never come, the Holly King drew his sword against his brother, and they fought. Although the Oak King fought bravely, the Holly King struck a mortal blow, and the Oak King fell. "My brother!" cried the Holly King, holding the body of the Oak King in his arms. The lady bundled up the body of the Oak King and told the Holly King that he must rule the land now. She took the Oak King away. Each day, the hours the sun shone grew shorter. Each night, the moon rode in the sky for a bit longer. The days grew shorter and cooler. The nights longer and colder. Snow started flying. The Holly King could think of nothing but his brother. Finally, the land was bare and dead, and all plants slept. Many animals slept through the cold times, and those that didn't sleep had a hard time finding food and shelter. One night, when it seemed like the sun would never rise again, the lady came to the Holly King and said, "Don't despair. Your brother isn't dead. Here he is to take his turn at ruling." And there stood the Oak King, young again and healthy, and the Holly King happily stepped aside for his brother to take his place as king of the land. The days grew longer and warmer. The moon rode in the sky for less and less time. The land grew green again, and the plants and animals awoke. Each year, the cycle continues, one brother ruling the green time and one the dark time. And this is the story our ancestors told to explain how our seasons were created.
Here for a meditation in praise of darkness. For all the fear trained in our culture embedded of darkness, let us instead move in this time with a source before stories were told, a source that knows the gifts of darkness. The quiet place of a cave to hibernate, to survive the long winter. The womb that rocked us in blessed cloak of night until our birth. Let us go now together in our mind's eye to a source of darkness, shadow, and mystery within us. A place where light would obscure the stars and where daytime would render impossible a discovery, a genesis, a tender treasure that takes patience and time to know. So let us give ourselves into this presence of generative holding, this blanket of night, and here. Let yourself be safe without fears. No one watching or judging, here in a space where newness can grow and life slowly form. Come into this wintry space, this solstice state, welcoming the gifts of quiet, of silence. Descend into the cave of life and holding what sparkles on these walls, what gem emerges in the absence of light. And then, beloved, drawing on breath once more, we end our brief sojourn in this cave of wonder, knowing that there are caverns to explore, knowing treasure shimmers yet in the recesses of the heart and mind. So we bid farewell with promises to return, with thanks for the gifts of darkness, for relief,
for wisdom, for a knowing beyond sight. Each Sunday at Beacon, we invite you to light a candle of sorrow, joy, grief, and celebration. Maybe you're lighting a candle for peace, both within yourself and out in the world. Maybe it's a candle remembering a broken relationship, a broken heart. Maybe you're kindling a light for forgiveness and repair. Maybe it's a light to welcome a new day, a new life. You are welcome to light a candle in your home. You can also lift up a name in the chat. We also light our candle of witness for Jarvis Mayhew Sullivan, born on July 26, 1975, to Mac Hugh and Lorraine Hutchinson Sullivan Sr. in Brunswick, Georgia. Jarvis was educated in the public school system of Camden County and graduated in the class of 1993. While in high school, he participated on the football team and basketball team. He attended Talladega College in Alabama, the oldest historically Black liberal arts college in Alabama. Jarvis was a member of the First African Missionary Baptist Church in Kingsland, Georgia. His hobbies included cooking, fishing, and spending time with his family and friends. He leaves to cherish his memory, his loving parents, his siblings, Patricia Dallas, Dr. Mac Hugh, Pamela Sullivan Jr., and Denise Sullivan Moore. A host of aunts, uncles, nephews, cousins, and friends will miss him dearly. Jarvis died in an altercation with the police on May 29, 2020. He was 44. We light this candle of witness for Jarvis Mayhew Sullivan.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, snow
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Victor Rosenberg, and my wife Gretchen and I have been members of this church since 1979. When we first joined this church, it was very old and very white, and I'm not talking about the building. And over the years, it's evolved to something we always hoped it would become, a multi-ethnic, multicultural group of caring people worshiping together on Sunday. Several years ago, Gretchen developed Alzheimer's disease, and for the past year, she's been in a memory care facility in Madison. Once a week, she gets a FaceTime call from Kathy Menendez, and it really lifts her spirits. Emilie Boggis and Jeannie Siegel look in on me from time to time, and I'm very grateful for those interactions. Beacon has become part of our family history. It's become an anchor in our lives, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. About 4 months ago, I joined a subsect of our denomination. I became an octogenarian Unitarian. And with age, supposedly comes a little wisdom. And I'd like to offer something to you younger families. Consider building a Beacon tradition in your family. Both of our children were married in this church. Our 4 grandchildren were named in this church. Take a long-term view about your relationship. You'll be glad you did. The truth is, we create this community called Beacon together, you and me, us. Our mission comes alive through our relationships, our actions, our leadership, and our gifts. Now we move into a time where we give generously to support how that mission comes alive in our lives and in the world. In a minute, you'll see ways to contribute to Beacon. While it might be tempting to go out and get another cup of coffee, we hope you'll stay present and lean into this practice of generosity. I know firsthand it makes a difference. Thank you.
There's an old joke that perhaps I've shared with some of you listening before. A captain of a ship looks into a dark night and sees faint lights in the distance. Immediately, he tells his signalman to send a message. Alter your course 10 degrees south. Promptly, a return message is received. Alter your course 10 degrees north. The captain is angered. His command has been ignored. So he sends a second message. Alter your course 10 degrees south. I am the captain. Soon another message is received. Alter your course 10 degrees south. I am a seaman, 3rd class Jones. Immediately, the captain sends a third message, knowing the fear it will evoke. Alter your course 10 degrees south. I am a battleship. Then comes the reply. Alter your course 10 degrees north. I am a lighthouse. A small benefit of this virtual space is that I can't hear your groans in response to my jokes anymore. We are, beloved, in the season of light, which by consequence of these festivities, these religious observances, also means in the Northern Hemisphere, we find ourselves in the season of darkness, fast approaching the longest night and winter solstice. Indeed, with the recent snowfall, we are in the bleak midwinter, whereas Misa sang so beautifully this day, thank you, where frosty wind made moan. Earth indeed stands hard as iron, and water like a stone. Snow has fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow. The darkness is long and the cold now pervasive. Darkness. The late Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson, who died at the end of November, darkness, she noted, often has a negative connotation in our culture. She writes in an updated reflection, I've been thinking a lot about how tired I am of hearing words that include black, dark, and more used in a negative way, even as we proclaim that Black lives matter. How much time and effort do we give to our contextualizing our use of those words that have the power to turn them into phrases that truly spread the words into only negative ones? Let's look at the word dark, she continues. Meaning, dark, synonyms, dark, night, dusk, gloom, dimness, shadows, shade. As I reflect on the negative connotations of darkness, I am struck by how easy it is to internalize them in different ways. For example, as the season turns from autumn to winter, I find myself gearing up psychologically for a season of cold. She concludes, I still hate to leave the warmth for the cold. I'm not excited about leaving the joy of sheltering in place in the warmth of my comfortable home. Perhaps you have found yourself, particularly if you are living in the Northern Hemisphere, gearing up, as Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson described, for winter, internalizing a fear or even a loathing of darkness. This season, I am encouraging myself, though, to go a little deeper into the things I somehow learned to fear, encouraged to do so by the teachings of Reverend Dr. Johnson. Even in the change of seasons in this corner of New Jersey, darkness, I am learning, has gifts to bear. A solstice state of mind, you see, a winter solstice state of mind, does not denigrate light for darkness, but rather knows the ebb and the flow of stillness and movement, silence and chorus, light and darkness. Grounded in the teaching that Jamaine led us in with the story of the Oak King and the Holly King, we move from a battle scene to the peaceful transition for balance. And yet, even as the pandemic roars, the market marches on with petitions for more light, more purchase, more doing battle against the closing dark, while bodies yearn for sleep, reflection, renewal, stillness. If there ever was a year when our souls long to linger in a solstice state of mind, it may perhaps be this one. Starhawk, author of Dreaming the Dark, Magic, Sex, and Politics, and now I have your attention, writes, beware of organizations that proclaim their devotion to the light without embracing, bowing to the dark. For when they idealize half of the world, they must devalue the rest. A serious order for an institution named Beacon, drawing on the metaphor of light. But there can be other beacons too, signs and symbols directing us without the aid of light and without the darkness. A beacon is rendered pretty ineffective. Some of you who know me well might rightfully say at this point, "Come on, Reverend Robin. You hate stillness and quiet. You've been kicked out of not one, but 2 silent retreats. Your nickname as a kid was Scorch. You love all things spicy and fiery and light-filled." But as former Chairman Wensler Nosey Sr. of the Apache Stronghold once cautioned me, "Your element," he said, "is fire. You're gifted with fire, but so too it can consume you," he warned as I poked at a fire in our camping ground. That night in Arizona, I decided to set up camp based on Wensler's advice, further from the fire, further from others. As I looked up that night, I realized that the stars truly do blanket you when there is enough darkness to experience them. Anne Marie reminded me of what her grandmother used to say about flowers that come from bulbs. They lived in sunny Florida, where there was hardly a break from the sun's rays, and grandmother used to say that a good bloom is built on a bulb that has rested enough in darkness. If your bulbs sprout up too early, she said, because of the sun, they won't take a good bloom. They need the cool and the dark. So every year, bulbs were dug up and put in a bucket in a cool corner in a kitchen or shed until they had time to ready for the replanting, to ready for the bloom. Could you imagine, given some time in the quiet and the darkness, giving yourself some space for what you might need, what might need, the rest to be noticed, to be tended, to be left in otherwise useless quiet, which truly is the genesis of beauty and wisdom itself. Just for a moment in this longest night. Sometimes in the bright cacophony of the day, it is hard to know, beloved, if the heart is breaking or breaking open. But I have learned that deep in the night, when the world sleeps and the moon rises, we can discover the wisdom path of night, of earth, of who some call Goddess. Episcopal priest and writer Barbara Brown Taylor wrote an entire book about darkness. She made a study of it, in fact, which ultimately led her to explore caves. She reasoned that it worked for Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha, and so she found herself one day descending with a guide to the inner heart of a cave, where the only light to guide her was a very dim headlamp. It is in this inner cave, passing through the phases of light, that Barbara Brown Taylor noticed, as she got into the inner room, a rock that was full of tiny crystals. And using her headlamp, she took a few broken pieces of this shimmering stone in her pocket, shimmering so incredibly that it took her breath away. She turned her headlamp off, sat in the stillness and the absolute darkness of that cave. But when she returned to her room that night and reached into her pocket to pull out the stone, she discovered in the light of her bedroom it looked like nothing more than gravel. And so she turned all the lights off once again, even closed the curtains until just a sliver of moonlight came in. And that's when she saw it shine once more. She concludes, when I entered the cave hoping for a glimpse of celestial brightness, it never occurred to me that it might be so small. But here it is, not much bigger than a mustard seed. Everything I need to remember about how much my set ideas get in my way. While I'm looking for something large, bright, and unmistakably holy, God slips something small, dark, and apparently negligible in my pocket. How many other treasures have I walked right by because they did not meet my standards? At least one of the day's lessons, she ends, is about learning to let go of my bright ideas about God so that my eyes are open to the God who is. And so, beloved, on this eve of winter solstice, I invite us, even those of us who are led by the fire, who are drawn by the light, to consider this solstice state of mind, to call forth a ritual in the hours to come of stillness, hibernation, learning what of the darkness allows you to understand, to notice something otherwise passed by. Yes, this is the season of so much, and perhaps it is decisively because of that we are called in these moments to less and less, companioning the caverns in our own heart to discover the truths we pass by that now can shimmer, taking time to live with a kindness and ease that soothes the exposures of day, to gift people the ability to grow, to reflect, and to change, to all the people in our lives to defy our bright ideas about what is holy and good and who shimmers. Instead, in these hours and days, and perhaps even as sun returns, may we give the grace to one another, the kindness of quiet and stillness, the blessed cloak of night, to rest, to grow, and to believe that we can yet pass the snow upon snow in spring, find a good bloom.
Deck the hall with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la
Even though we may not be decking the beacon hall with evergreens this year, let us remember to still bring the life of evergreens into our own homes. For haven't we learned the gifts this year of both darkness and light? So beacon, take a piece of evergreen, smell it, and let it bless your life. Let it bless your home. Let it bless the end of this year. This, the shortest day and the longest night. And in this blessing, may we strike the harp, may we join the chorus, and may we sing one and all together. Let this be our blessing. Amen. Blessed be. Ashe.